on 100 subscribers. Yay! Good for you. And I'd like to...
Aw, that's sweet of you. Thanks so much. Of course, you didn't give me much of a chance to announce it myself, but that's cool. My 100 subscriber is Ooga Doodle. Is that right? Ooga Doodle? Yes. Look at the nice, neat printing on that card. It's like one of the best cards I've ever written. And my subscriber number 99 is, of course, Bean the Nacho, who is close personal friends with moomonkeymatters and French Fries for You and Llama Drama Ate My Mama and all that gang that pushed me over the brink to 100. So thanks very much to all you guys. moomonkeymatters, whom you just saw in the preceding clip, won my contest. The contest that I had on Best Movie of the Decade. And so she got to pick a topic for my video, this video. And so she asked me to do a double feature review. So I was like, okay, so I went to see the two movies this weekend, and now I'm going to tell you about them. The most terrifying double feature in cinema history, Splice, starring Sarah Polley and Adrian Brody, and Date Night, starring Tina Fey and Steve Carell. Ah! Yes, it would appear that these two movies do not have very much in common, but this is not the case. See, Date Night is about a married couple. Tina Fey and Steve Carell are married, they have a couple of kids, they live in suburban New Jersey. Splice is about two genetic scientists, but they are also a couple. They've been living together for 7 years, and Adrian Brody's like, so, Sarah Polley, think maybe you want to have a baby sometime? And she's like, I don't know. So that's that. Now, the plot of both movies is set in motion when the couples, aforementioned, make a big mistake. In the case of Date Night, Tina Fey and Steve Carell, they go to a fancy restaurant, and of course there are no tables available, and they don't have reservation because they didn't book it a month in advance. But someone doesn't claim their reservation, some other couple, and so they take it. They say, oh, we're the Triple Horns, even though that's not who they are. And consequently, they get in a whole bunch of trouble involving corrupt cops and mobsters and flash drives and taxi cabs that like latch onto a vehicle, and Mark Wahlberg, who's walking around without a shirt throughout the entire movie. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Now, Splice has difficulties when they, they're genetic scientists, and what they're doing is they're combining animal DNA from several different species into new animals to create properties and compounds that can be used to fight diseases and what have you. And Sarah Polley's like, Adrian Brody, I've got an idea. Why don't we do something more fun? Why don't we, like, add a little human DNA in there? Raise the creature. We're not going to take it too far. We're just going to see whether or not we can do it or not, right? Well, needless to say, they don't just stop once they see whether they can do it. Once they splice the genes and they let the embryo grow, and then it grows and it grows and it grows, and finally it comes out, and they've got to deal with it then. It starts off with this little sort of baby-like creature, and then it grows into a young child, and then it grows into a teenager, and it grows into an adult, and they find they have to, like, take care of it. Kind of like a kid. Well, as it turns out, one of the two geneticists has a hidden agenda, one that they are not talking about to the other, individual in this whole scheme. Not to mention what they're doing is completely unethical, totally illegal, and the creature in question exhibits some dangerous tendencies. Now, so there's one of the... Oh, yes, exactly. In Splice, there's some really, really crazy stuff that happens in this movie involving the maturity of the creature, who they call Dren. That's nerd spelled backwards. And it's developing hormones, I guess you could say. Some pretty crazy stuff happens in this movie. Stuff that's like downright wrong and twisted. But that's nothing compared to the strip club scene in Date Night when Tina Fey and Steve Carell have to work the pole in some sleazy joint for the benefit of a corrupt, slimy district attorney. Man, I'm telling you. The district attorney is played by William Fichtner. There's a lot of really cool actors in this movie, half of whom I didn't even realize were in it. William Fichtner has made a career out of playing skeezy characters, and this one is no exception, because he's sitting there while they're dancing around, kind of, bumping and grinding on each other. He's sitting there going, yeah, that's it. Yeah, come on. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm just like, okay, there are not many scenes that actually make me want to look away from the screen, but that's one of them, okay? Man, okay, I can handle everything that happened in Splice, okay? But date night, wow. That's crazy. Anyway, I thought you might be interested to know that William Finkner, who played the slimy DA, and Sarah Polley, who was in Splice, they appeared in a movie together. They were in Go in 1999. That's a movie directed by Doug Liman, who did The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I was like, that's cool, you know? And in fact, they have a scene together. It's really cool. He's a cop, and he's trying to bust her for dealing, and she's like totally playing it smooth and faking him out and stuff like that. It's a good movie. You got to check that one out if you haven't. So, Splice. A lot of wrong stuff happens in it. Yeah, a lot of wrong stuff happens. But I like both movies. I thought they were really good, actually, both of them. The issue that I have with Date Night is the whole climax. Steve Carell, in order to get them out of trouble, puts this plan into motion, and Tina Fey is supposed to be in on it because they go to Mark Wahlberg and they sort of work everything out with him, except that all that's off screen. So at some point, Tina Fey must have like left the room and like sat in the living room and was like, okay, you guys work it out because I'm just going to sit here, because she didn't know half the things that were going to happen. She's like, oh, you were planning all this, you were planning all that, you know, and it's like she wasn't even there to begin with. What was up with that, huh? And in Splice, things kind of turn a little bit slightly predictable towards the end. I could kind of see where it was going. And the last scene, there's supposed to be like the surprise reveal. I kind of knew what it was like all along. But overall, I like both movies a lot. Yeah, Splice, a lot of very, very twisted stuff that happens in there that's just wrong. But Date Night takes the cake. And that cake is full of the rancid whipped cream that Allie Larder wore on her naked body in Varsity Blues, which makes it about 11 years old. It's nasty. You don't want to go near it. Yeah. Yeah, I went there.